Hello, everyone, and welcome to the About Healing podcast. This is a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I'm your host, Sheree Buckman, medium and spiritual healer. Join me as I share my unfiltered perspective in healing, creating a place of love and understanding for all, reminding us that we are in this life together and never alone in our struggles. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at shereebuckman.com. Let's begin. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of About Healing podcast. Hello, Copper.
Hello. How are you today?
I am doing good. I really am. I am just getting myself adjusted and ready to go for this episode with some fun announcements actually this morning. I really wanted to share some fun little adjustments that's happening on the podcast, and I feel excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Copper does too.
You know I am because we talk about it and I'm pumped. So
Yeah, I know. And it's finally happening. After this episode, we have one episode more to go with the 2-week period in between episodes. And then it officially will be every week you will get a new episode. So this is exciting. So now you're getting double episodes of About Healing podcast. And which does take us into the holidays. So we're doing this at the end of the year. This is going to be the end of season 1. We will be getting the new one. Starting with the new year will be season 2, which is going to be a whole new ball game. Stay tuned for that. But at least for the rest of the year, as we get into December, we're going to do some fun holiday-themed episodes. Hopefully they'll be a bit lighter. We will see how it goes. I can't make those promises until I'm officially sitting there and it comes out.
You always say that. You always say it's going to be a light episode.
And what's interesting is that some of them are for me because I've already learned the lesson. So it feels really light coming out of me. But I realize afterwards that anybody going through it, it is not easy. And so I apologize, but I don't apologize because that is what this podcast is about. I'm trying to help you and get through your own healing and moving past it, looking at different perspectives. Only one way to find out.
Yep, exactly.
Well, given that we're already entering the holiday season, for those who are here in America, we celebrate Thanksgiving towards the end of November. And I say that because we actually do have listeners that are outside of the country now. So for us, Thanksgiving it's not just Thanksgiving, but November itself is a time of gratitude, where we sit down and we talk about the things that we're thankful for. This is definitely why I chose the topic for today to talk about the power of gratitude. So we know gratitude and we hear it often, but today let's discuss and understand the energy of gratitude. So having gratitude is more than just saying what you're thankful for. I mean, that's easy. We sit around and say, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the food on our table, for my home, so on and so forth. But gratitude is actually a conscious feeling of being thankful for blessings and finding even the subtle glimmers of light in the dark. And what I mean by that is even feeling or finding that gratitude even in the darkest moments. Because gratitude is a powerful form of thought energy that not only adjusts your perception, but also changes the magnetic force in which you draw to yourself. And so this is going to be really interesting as we're getting into and breaking down gratitude and the lessons behind it, the ones that I received from Spirit, the ones that I have learned and adjusted to over the years. And I really want to take this opportunity to share this with you because gratitude is such a powerful force. It truly is. Because it's more, again, than just saying that I'm thankful for and then have your little list. It is an energy that can change your life in profound ways. So let's think of gratitude in a different way, because the way that I see gratitude, it is more, again, than just that word or that phrase or this time of year. I see it as a golden universal tool. This is a tool from the toolbox that we can use when it comes to when we're so inside of our head and we're in these darker places or we're going through some really hard times. This is one of these objects that we can pull out of our toolbox to help us get through it. And I want to explain again how big and how deep and how powerful this tool is. Because to me, it's like looking in your toolbox and seeing Zeus's lightning bolt sitting in there. Like, that's a big deal. And so is this, when we can really take our time to understand this further. But this tool assists you in manifesting positivity into your life. And if you're someone who gets stuck in the dents very often, or we get really consumed by the negativity, whether it's the things that keep happening to you, or you're surrounded by really tough lessons right now, and it's really hard to see any positive out of it. Again, this is that tool we can go in and we can pull out and try to take apart and rebuild. It's not the situation in itself, but it's our way of thinking around it. That's what we need to go back and fix. It's not just the situation. Because when we can go in and see it differently and start viewing things differently, well, then it starts to form and change everything else outside of it in the physical way. But this tool, gratitude in itself, this golden universal tool, it glows in that golden light because it carries the vibration of love, which is truly the highest vibration, the highest frequency that there is. And so, yeah, this can do damage. But I mean, damage in a good way, not like bad way, because again, we're thinking vibration, love. I mean, love is your way out. It really is. It sounds simple, but it's also deep and profound to think about that, because gratitude is a shift in, it's my big word I love to use a lot, perspective. It's perspective and awareness. Because mostly everything that we go through, we can shift ourselves out of those deep feelings, the anxiety, the fear, the anger, the everything else, if we can go in and we can change the way we view and see things, the way we think about things. This is all perspective. It is going in and shifting focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. So it's going in there and trying to flip the switch. Sometimes you can flip the switch, and the way that I see it as I'm saying that is, we can go in there and we have every intent to go in there and try to see the positive, but we go and flip the switch and then there's a flicker and then the light bulb bursts. It's like, oh man, we're still in the dark. That didn't work. Well, might probably need to go a little bit deeper. So let's go in and do some rewiring and turn that puppy back on. Because again, it's easy for us to, when we're in those deeper states or in those darker states, to just sit in it. When we want out, and usually when we want out or we want to change and feel better in our lessons or in our healing, we want others to do it for us. Again, we're always seeking for someone to fix it for us, or for the magic potion or the medication or this one piece of information that changes everything, that just everything disappears. But the truth is, because I still go through it myself all the time, I'm still going through my lessons. I can also get in dark places, and I can sit there. When I say dark places, like I'm going through my lessons and I can really sit in it and feel it. And it takes a long period of time for me to understand and get through it. But the only way to get through it is to get in there and do the work. But while you're doing that, the only way I can get through it is to use this tool, which is like the light. This is like my flashlight, the gratitude, if I'm not being clear on that. The tool, the universal lightning rod, is the flashlight, the light that is shining over where can I find the positives in this dark to get me through this. And that's what I mean by that. And I really hope this is coming out clear. So now that you've gone in, whether you've gone in and really rewired and got the light to go, it's kind of like hot wiring the car. Like, we got it to work. It may not use the switch, but we're going to get it to work. Or you have your flashlight, and now you're shining the light and you're seeing the highlights of the situations that you know you need to change. Okay, so now we need to understand how to change how we see or respond to the bad, I say bad, quote unquote, or negative situation. Because yeah, it always feels bad when we're in it, especially when things get really dark, the things that are out of our control. But there's always a reason behind why it's happening. We're growing, we're evolving. And it's finding gratitude just in that. For example, an unexpected loss of a job, that's huge. And this I know can send people in a huge spiral, because you lost your income right there. And whether you liked your job or not, losing it is tough, because now we have to go through a change, which again, it's that auto-responsive fear that pops in with change. But how else can we look at it? Sometimes losing the job, it pushed you out of something that you grew out of a long time ago, but you wouldn't have done it on your own because you got comfortable and change scares you. But now it's pushing you, truly pushing you into a new direction for your life. Whether it's lateral where you're doing something completely different, or you get to jump into something that's even higher than it was before because your energy outgrew something. So it's finding that, you know what? It's finding the gratitude in, I lost my job, but you know what? This is giving me an opportunity to find something I truly enjoy, or putting me in a place and finding an opportunity where others can see my value because maybe your last job didn't offer that. Or a breakup. This is a big one. Breakups are hard. I don't care how old you are and you go through a breakup. And you know what? This isn't just in a relationship, but this also goes with friendship and other things because we also grow and evolve out of friendships and relationships. And when you're in it, because again, it's that massive change and it's the heartbreak that is associated with it. Yes, that is tough. And I'm not saying that it's not. And I'm not trying to say that any of the things that you're going through, you should be happy about. But it's shining the light and finding, where can I at least find some positivity out of it? Where can I shift it? So in the breakup there are multiple factors that you could look at this, because whether you were in a relationship where you weren't getting what you needed, that can be a good thing, because now you get to find a new relationship, or even the friendship where you are finding a more healthy, stable, equally balanced relationship where there's more give and take. Or again, sometimes we're just in relationships with people for a short period of time for each of us to evolve and go our different ways. And that's okay too. And we just have to send that away with love. It's finding the gratitude of having whatever time we had with that person. And we can be grateful for the time we did have, especially during the positive times. And the same as we're talking about separating in breakups, it's the same thing with a passing. Again, passing in grief is difficult and it's hard. And we get stuck in that for a very long time, and everybody grieves differently. But to get us out of those really hard states, the ones where we spiral down and we miss that person so much, is to go back and always trying to, again, get that lightning tool back out and let's find the gratitude in all the times that we had. It's the gratitude that this person was in my life and shaped me to who I am today, and that we had the love and we had these things, because there's nothing we can do to change that they left. But what we can do is try to focus on all the beautiful, positive things about it, especially when we get really down, because it just helps lift us back up a little bit, and it puts us back into that vibration of love, is when we can focus on the loving part and the beautiful parts of the relationship rather than the loss. I mean, yes, we need to grieve the loss, but when it gets really low, shift into the gratitude for the positive, the love. When we get stuck in really any example, not just with a passing or anything else, when we get stuck in those dense emotions, when we're stuck in the negativity and only seeing that, we are creating more of that. We are creating more of that dense energy to come back. And that's what I mean. Like, the power of gratitude is even bigger. And so while I brought in just those examples of being able to see that and changing perspective and how to find gratitude, but the biggest power of it is that lightning rod tool has multiple purposes. It is not just to put light on the dark situations or to find positivity out of the negative, but it is also a universal energy magnet, because we are energy sources. We as people, we are made of energy. And so what you put out is what you get back. So when you put focus on or into something, it draws more of that same energy back to you. So when you are creating something and you're really in this inspirational moment, you're going to keep bringing this inspiration and bringing more, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as long as you stay in that mode. But it's also the same thing on the other end of the spectrum, is that when you're only focusing on the negative, and it's more of the woe is me is what I call it. Why does this keep happening to me? Well, first of all, it does keep happening to you because you haven't learned the lesson, unfortunately. It's the universe keep bringing it forward because you're not seeing it yet. You haven't done anything different yet. But when you're stuck in that and you're only seeing the negative, again, you're also drawing it to keep happening. Maybe not the same exact thing, but you're also drawing more of that dense energy with it. Again, it's kind of like having that feeling that nobody loves you. And it's saying it over and over again. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. And then you find that you're having a harder time in the relationships in your life where you're feeling more unloved and people are separating themselves from you more and more. You have to understand that when you're in that type of frame of mind, you are creating that dense energy where people are separating themselves because you're just projecting the negative. And that's hard for people to be around. So again, it's going in there and the way to turn that off rather than saying that I am loved, again, it's taking this gratitude tool and shining the light within and finding those little pieces when you find yourself in the negative thought frames or the negative speech. It's stopping for a minute, going inside, okay, well, let's find gratitude for a moment. What can I be grateful for? Especially if you're having these thoughts like nobody loves me. Let's talk about the easy positives. Let's talk about being grateful for the breath that you're taking right then and there. You're alive today. You're doing great. And then it's, you know what? But I do have people in my life. Let's find a positive there, whether it's just one person or you have multiple, no matter what the relationship is like, because relationships can change. If you put the energy into it to build a relationship in a more positive way, you can create that. It changes the energy of the other person too. So finding the gratitude, it elevates your vibration into that love frequency, which then draws more of that positive and more of that loving energy to you. So it's just being aware that your frame of thought and your energy of focus is actually creating the circumstances around you. So let's change it. As I said about gratitude being a powerful tool, it doesn't take much of it to change everything. Finding the smallest pieces of gratitude, what it does is it starts collecting. Think of it as if you were starting a collection of whatever it may be. You always have to start with one, right? And then you start collecting more and it starts building that energy. And then you find out that you have more and more and more. So the more you do it, even on the smallest basis, you again are changing. And this is all energetically. And you don't have to do anything else but then to truly change a form of gratitude. Again, it's not just saying, oh, I'm thankful for and having this empty thought base. Remember, gratitude is a feeling. It is truly going deep within and finding the one feeling that you are grateful for. And gratitude is everywhere. It really is. It is waking up in the morning. And like I said, it's before you even put your feet on the ground. It's, I am grateful I woke up this morning. I am grateful for the sunshine outside. I am grateful for the warm bed I slept in. You can find gratitude anywhere. I am grateful for the experience that I had, good or bad, because I'm learning. It's understanding that. It's being grateful for the people that are in or maybe not in your life anymore. Because again, sometimes it's okay to be grateful that some people that were carrying so much negativity or that you, again, energetically grew out of, it's okay to be grateful that they're on their own way now and not within that because they're not affecting you anymore. Being grateful for your home, your health, your job. Honestly, no matter whether it's a job you love or not, if it is providing for you, then that's a good thing. Be grateful for that. You have somewhere to go. It could be the nature of the sun rising today. It is the quarter you found on your walk because you were worried about finances and you put gratitude in everything and you say, thank you. You found a little bit more that you didn't have before. So I want you to take this and always remember that gratitude is a choice. It is. You have to consciously go in and choose gratitude. And it's a practice, especially when you're used to only focusing on the negatives or talking about it or thinking about it and living it. It's going to be a practice to focus and change that thought train and finding those pieces that you are grateful for. But you either choose it or don't. You can't blame other people for it. That's nothing you can put blame on because That is 100% within yourself. Complete free will on this one. No one can force or not force this. No matter what we choose to understand, we are creating the energy around us. We project that onto everyone around us also. So remember that. Be responsible and accountable for your choice, no matter which one it is. But by choosing to feel gratitude, you are choosing to bring more joy, love, positivity into your life. You are creating the magical moments of surprise as the universe matches the energy you project. Again, you are a magnet, and remember that. And this is definitely something that I've been going through within this podcast. I just want to share this as an example. As you guys have heard, for anyone that has followed and listened to the whole season, you understand that I have been going through some big fears and lessons and putting myself out there and being heard. And creating this podcast and doing this has been a big deal for me. But along the whole way, I had to keep changing. No matter how fearful I got, was finding that little piece of positive in it. Sometimes I needed reminders and help. I like copper. But I had to see that I had to be grateful for the lessons that I was learning. And I definitely am, no matter how slow it is, because again, one of my bigger lessons is control. And I'm trying to control how quickly I can get through this. But I had to go back and really put that energy and that feeling of gratitude into it. That I made it here, that I am right here where I am. And no matter how much control I am trying to exert or think that I should be or shouldn't be right now, but if I look back and see where I've come from, holy cow, it's a big difference. And every time I do that, I get hit with something else that has to do with the podcast. That's a huge energetic boost, I should say, because every time I focus on the positives, and I put gratitude in it, all of a sudden our downloads go up and we have more listens, or, we have more followers on Facebook. And I know that sounds maybe even ridiculous or petty, but to me, that's showing that people are listening and that what I'm saying is starting to make a difference. And that's huge. And that's beautiful. And that's where I'm putting the gratitude. And just know that you can do it too, no matter where your fears are and how slow things go and how much you want to control things. If you can find the gratitude in it, then the energy keeps coming for you and it will keep creating and it will keep being in that positive state. And I love this one example as I go into the wrap up for this episode is go back and remember the innocence of your childhood. I understand if maybe some of you, this may trigger something. Maybe your childhood wasn't the most amazing, but try to remember a great time during your childhood. As children, we found gratitude everywhere. Think about the excitement of, for me, I can think about the excitement of when my dad got home from work. You were just so excited. Now it was amazing. It doesn't matter what your day was like, but if you just saw the one person or, your mom made your favorite meal, it changed everything, and that was exciting. And we found gratitude just hiking and exploring outside and taking in the stars, watching the fireflies. It was magic. We were grateful for that. And sometimes we have to be reminded, especially as adults, and then we get so busy in life and everything else that we stop and we focus on those little things. Because that's what holds the beauty, and that's where the gratitude is. Find those things. Well, I hope you found something new in this episode about gratitude, maybe that you didn't know before. And we're understanding that it's so much more than being thankful, that it is an actual tool we can use in our healing, no matter what time of year it is, and that it is a choice. So today, I express my loving gratitude for this experience right now in this moment. I'm expressing gratitude for every person who is listening to this, and that I wish you all your own healing through gratitude. You all have a fabulous week. This is the last one. I get to say goodbye for 2 weeks. And until then, be kind to yourselves. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. You can find About Healing Podcast on Pandora, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, or any of your favorite places to listen in. Follow and share the podcast on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask questions or share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to always reach me on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, be kind to yourself.